This episode is sponsored by PAX, the gold standard in emergency response bags. So when you're working under pressure, you need kit to be both dependable, tough and intuitive, and that's exactly what you get with PAX. Every bag is handcrafted by expert tailors who understand the demands of personal care, from the high-tech, skin-friendly and environmentally responsible materials to the cutting-edge welding process that reduces seams and makes cleaning easier. PAX absolutely puts performance first. They've partnered with 3M to make perfect reflective surfaces for better visibility, and bright grey interior makes finding kit effortless and fast even in low light. With over 200 designs, PAX bags are made to suit your role, your needs and your environment. And thanks to their modular system, many bags work seamlessly together no matter the setup. PAX doesn't chase trends, their designs stay consistent, so once you know one, you know them all. And if your bag ever takes a beating, their in-house repair team will bring it back to life. PAX are built to perform, made to last. Learn more at pax.bags.com or head to the show notes for further details.
You're listening to the Pre-Hospital Care podcast on the Medics Academy Network.
Welcome back to the podcast. This is part of a trilogy of podcasts, just looking at blog posts that we wanted to shine a light on in the podcast and really bring to life. So I'm here with the author of two blog posts, which are fantastic, that you're going to hear this week and next week. That of Wayne Auton. Wayne Auton is a seasoned senior advanced paramedic, and he's written two fantastic blog posts. One, Esprit de Corps, and the other is Say Yes to the Opportunity. And we're just going to unpack the blog post with Wayne, some of the reasons why he wrote the blog posts, and then you're going to hear them being transposed. Wayne, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having us.
I just wondered if you could just give us a little bit of background to the Esprit de Corps blog you wrote. It's a fantastic recollection of your time in the military, but also how that pulls through generally to life. Could I just get you to speak to a bit of background?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I wrote it as a bit of therapy for myself. I think it was something that I was maybe missing in my life. And I was trying to put my finger on what it was that I was missing. So I think for me, it was that opportunity to dig a bit deeper, to sit down and think about what that Esprit de Corps is. It's a strange one because obviously I've had that. I've been in those circles and I've had it, but I've never really put my finger on why you have it, why you are that team and things like that. So yeah, it was pretty much just a bit of therapy to try and write it all down and make sense of it, see what I'm missing and see if I can get it back.
Yeah, indeed. And to your point in the blog post around, there is these teams inside and outside the military, which actually you do need this cohesion. You do need that sense of vulnerability and trust fundamentally, I think, and you need to be able to build that going forward in critical care teams, because you do depend on each other regardless of whatever the day throws at you. Just before we hear the blog, just one quick more question really would be, some of the takeaways that you make from the blog are fantastic. Just how it's about showing up with the right mindset every day, irrespective of feeling, just showing up with a mindset that that mindset of pride in the team, of team cohesion, but also just that vulnerability and how that can form strong bonds really within a team. And then that self-sufficiency and self-reliance on an individual level, that actually you can feed into the team because you've got a good amount of self-care. Could I just get you to sort of speak to that and whether that bears relevance even today?
Absolutely, yeah. So I have been thinking about this over the last few days, and I think I was obviously part of quite a small, close-knit team when I was in the military. And you don't realise you're in these, it's a bit of a buzzword at the minute, it's high-performing team, resilience, all these words. But I think when you're actually in a team like that, you don't realise you're in a team, you're just getting on with the job and everyone's doing it well and there's positive outcomes. You don't sit back and go, oh, I'm in a high-performing team. It's really interesting. And it's not until you leave that team and you maybe work in another team that you think, oh, hang on a minute, something fundamentally different here. Again, it's just trying to put my finger on why we were that kind of high performing team in the military. And it is, you're living with each other. You've got this overall goal, this sense of purpose. You know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and you've been kind of vulnerable together. And I think I haven't really had that feeling since I've left the Corps. I've never really been in a team like that. I have been in teams that perform well and probably on a smaller level. But I think that vulnerability, I think that's what brings those teams together. So, for example, if you're on search and rescue, if you have a bad flight, which is quite scary, getting thrown around the mountains, doing loop-the-loops, etc., you land and you look at each other and go, "Ooh, yeah, that was spicy." And you feel a little bit vulnerable in that situation. You can kind of relate to it, and then there's that bit of a bond formed. Again, I think I mentioned it in the blog where we had an emergency landing, and when we landed, we had a bit of a laugh about it. And again, that team just became that bit stronger. I think it is, you just see that other side of people, those barriers and everything drop, and you see the person for who they are. And I think that's probably where you get that in the Marines. You see people for who they are truly, whereas in normal life, people have still got that shield, and it takes a fair bit for people to drop it, and you see the real them. Yeah, it's a struggle, and I've worked with some amazing people since I've left. There's maybe one set of people that I've worked with where I've had that kind of sense of belonging, that sense of vulnerability, and being in the team. But even what I do now, I still don't get that same feeling. Even though the word high performance and high performance team is bandied around, I'm like, is it?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Listen, we're going to put links to the blog post in. You're just about to hear the actual audio of the blog post now. Please do enjoy, and we'd also love to hear your feedback. Thanks, Wayne.
No, thank you, mate.
Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving deep into a concept that, well, for many people, it probably conjures images of military parades or maybe elite special forces. We're talking about Esprit de Corps.
Right.
And our mission today is to, truly understand what it is, how it's forged, and I guess what insights we can pluck from it for really any team, any group, any community you're part of, whether you're climbing mountains or just navigating a busy workday.
That's exactly right. And to do that, we've pulled from some, really unique source material. We're drawing on highly personal experiences from someone who's worked across military and emergency services. Alongside, broader academic definitions and references. We're going to explore that really profound feeling of someone always having your back from every conceivable angle, maybe pushing past the traditional definitions a bit.
Okay, so if you were just to Google Esprit de Corps, what usually pops up, I think it's something like a feeling of pride and mutual loyalty shared by the members of a group. It's a decent starting point, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a good base. But what's really fascinating here is the author's personal take, which simplifies it even further. They just call it the feeling of belonging.
Belonging, okay.
And that immediately grounds the concept, doesn't it? Makes it less abstract and highlights that at its core, it's fundamentally about human connection and feeling truly integrated within a group.
And what makes this author's perspective so valuable, so rich, is that incredibly varied background you mentioned. We're talking Royal Marines, then transitioning to a search and rescue winchman.
High stakes stuff.
Yeah, and even working with the Emergency Medical Retrieval Service. So with that kind of diverse high stakes experience, where did our source see Esprit de Corps at its absolute peak? For them, it was, undeniably the Royal Marines.
Absolutely, yeah. When we look at their gold standard example, the Royal Marines, it becomes really clear why it's so powerful for them. The source really emphasizes how during training, you're immediately instilled with over 350 years of history, legacy, and pride.
Wow, 350 years.
It's not just a job. It's described as, quote, a culture and a way of life, something that really shapes your entire existence.
And within that intense environment, the author talks about this profound sense of psychological safety, trust, and the ability to be vulnerable, almost, they say, like a mini family. That's quite a statement for a military unit.
It really is.
What does that mini family dynamic really contribute to that deep connection?
It allows for complete acceptance, appreciation, and respect. And it's all underpinned by that deep, fundamental understanding that everyone has to perform.
Right.
When you can be truly vulnerable with your team, when you know they accept you fully, flaws and all, it creates an environment where failure isn't just about you, but about the whole group. That shared accountability combined with that safety, it forms an incredibly powerful bond.
And this isn't just, anecdotal or unique to the military. I mean, there's research out there, folks like Schuler and Weber.
Yeah.
They've consistently shown that high-pressure situations, threat-filled situations, are powerful catalysts for intensifying these kinds of group bonds. Esprit de Corps.
Exactly.
You see, with police officers, firefighters, even mountaineers, basically anyone in a job where danger is like consistently present.
Exactly. It's that shared crucible, Whether it's physical danger or intense psychological pressure, that's often what forges the strongest connections.
And our source has this personal story that really drives this home. Imagine this. The author is a search and rescue winchman.
Yeah, okay.
They take off in a helicopter with their team, just 4 of them, heading for a rescue mission. At 3,000 feet, this weird vibration starts.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And it's not just a little rattle. It's getting worse. The whole crew feels it. They realize something is seriously wrong with the tail rotor, the part that stops the helicopter spinning wildly out of control.
Right. Critical part.
Super critical. The author just bluntly states that if your tail rotor malfunctions, your chances of a successful landing are, quote, pretty slim. 3,000 feet up, failing tail rotor. That's just terrifying to think about.
It highlights an incredible level of trust, though, doesn't it? And what's fascinating here is how the team actually responded.
Yeah, what did they do?
Well, the source describes them basically going into autopilot, calmly discussing scenarios. Would they need to ditch it in the water? Could they try to make the beach? Everyone had a voice,
Even in that situation.
Even then. They ultimately made it back to the airfield for an emergency landing. And once they were safe, they all just let out this collective sigh of relief before spotting that part of the tail rotor was actually missing.
Oh my goodness.
Missing. Yeah. So that shared life-threatening experience created, as the author puts it, an even deeper understanding of each other's behavior, reinforcing that they could truly rely on each other when it really mattered. A bond forged in, literal extreme risk.
But, and this is what our source points out so insightfully, those high-stakes moments don't always have to involve, physical peril like a failing helicopter.
Right.
Because what about, say, a team of nurses in a really busy hospital department? There's no physical threat to them directly.
Not in the same way. No.
But there's immense psychological pressure. They're dealing with limited time, maybe not enough staff, trying desperately to protect patients. At the end of a shift, they're just exhausted. But they got through it, by helping each other out.
Precisely. In that kind of high-stress hospital environment, the danger isn't just physical. It's the huge emotional weight, the ethical dilemmas sometimes, the constant pressure of maybe being understaffed, and just the critical importance of every single decision. That shared burden, that collective responsibility for patient well-being, and the nonstop high-stakes problem solving. That creates its own profound foxhole effect, even without bullets flying. These shared experiences, good or bad, they deeply connect people. They allow team members to understand each other on a really profound level and truly grasp how they function together as a unit. That shared struggle, even without the immediate physical danger, builds incredibly strong bonds.
So what does this all mean for the long haul then? How lasting is this feeling? Our source mentions research by Posikoff and McKenzie, who noted that helping behavior is a key sign of strong esprit de corps, people going out of their way for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And the author's own experience completely backs this up. Even a decade after leaving the Royal Marines, they said they would still go out of their way for any Royal Marine serving or ex. That's a testament to the enduring power of these bonds, isn't it?
It really is. It speaks to a bond that goes way beyond just the job, The author even shares how this experience still impacts their daily life, influencing the high standards they set for themselves and others, the specific terminology they still use.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, even small quirks, like apparently taking about 3 showers a day and maybe dishing out 20 press-ups as punishments. But, it just shows how deeply ingrained that whole sense of camaraderie and performance becomes. It sticks with you.
Okay, so that leads to a really insightful question the author poses. Can this esprit de corps thing actually be deliberately cultivated?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it purely a product of, extreme circumstances like the Marines or that Helvector incident? What insights does the source offer on that?
Yeah, that's a fantastic point, and the author's answer is, it's quite nuanced. They admit they're not sure if it can be replicated to that same extreme level. They actually note they've never experienced that level of esprit de corps again, even in other really high-performing teams.
Really?
Yeah, even in teams where they observe what they call organizational citizenship. That's, when team members go above and beyond their formal duties, voluntarily helping out for the good of the organization. It's good, but it wasn't quite the same depth.
So what made that Marine experience so uniquely powerful then that it's apparently so hard to replicate?
Well, the author puts it down to a unique combination of factors. Literally living together 24/7, experiencing really big highs and big lows together, facing actual danger together, and being, crucially, vulnerable from day one.
Right, that vulnerability again.
Exactly. This creates an incredibly intimate relationship within a team. And while, yeah, maybe such an extreme level might be rare to replicate in most settings, the key takeaway isn't necessarily to replicate it perfectly. It's about extracting elements from those experiences and consciously applying them elsewhere. It's understanding that even a little esprit de corps, consciously built, goes a very long way.
Okay, so synthesizing the author's wisdom and these experiences, let's pull out some key takeaways for fostering that crucial group cohesion. First, it sounds like it starts with having the right mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't just being positive, right? It's like a deep-seated belief in the team's ability to overcome challenges and a personal commitment to helping each other out, maybe putting the team before your own ego sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And second, the source really emphasizes that cohesion is key, so get your teammates on board. True cohesion isn't just about getting along, is it? It's about a deep, mutual investment in succeeding together.
Often forged through those shared tough times we talked about.
Exactly. Whether physical or psychological, it makes that proactive effort to integrate people and keep everyone aligned really, really important. It's not negotiable.
Okay. Third, recognize that moments of vulnerability can form strong bonds. It's about, well, letting your guard down sometimes, showing your real self, letting others see your challenges, not just your strengths. That shared openness can be incredibly powerful.
Definitely. And finally, a slightly counterintuitive point maybe, but a crucial one. Individual self-sufficiency and self-reliance actually contributes to a stronger esprit de corps within the group.
How does that work?
It's not about everyone being totally dependent on each other for everything. It's about each person being strong and capable enough to really contribute powerfully to the team, knowing that their teammates are doing the same. You trust everyone can pull their weight.
Right, so everyone brings their best, which lifts the whole group. Makes sense. So it's clear that while maybe that extreme, all-consuming level of esprit de corps found in those really high-stakes environments might be rare.
Yeah, probably quite rare outside of those contexts.
Even a little goes a long way in any team or group for, effective performance. It's really about constantly building those elements, trust, shared purpose, mutual support, into your daily interactions.
Exactly. It's about cultivating an environment where everyone truly feels like they belong and that they have, and importantly are, someone who always has their back.
So thinking about all this, the personal stories, the research we've discussed today, here's something for you, the listener, to mull over. What small, everyday moments of vulnerability could you maybe initiate or lean into within your own team, your own community, to start fostering that deeper sense of shared purpose and trust?
You're listening to the Pre-Hospital Care podcast on the Medics Academy Network.